The UGC space is flooded with thousands of creators, which means it's extremely important to stand out if you want to get the best, highest paying gigs. And like in any field, the top percentage of creators who are getting the best, highest paying gigs understand exactly what brands are looking for. Their content makes brands more money, so they in turn make more money themselves. Today, I'm going to be sharing my expert secrets on how you can be in that top percent of UGC creators. If you're new here, my name is Danae. I make marketing simple. If you're interested in marketing, consider subscribing and signing up for my newsletter, the Digital Marketing Diaries, that you can find in the description. If you're already subscribed, you probably subscribed from my one UGC video that I posted a little over a year ago, but I'm so happy to be back. And during that time, I've worked with multiple 7 to 9 figure brands as their copywriter and creative strategist, which means I was directly sourcing creators for the brands. So I know exactly what brands are looking for and what other creative strategists do and look for when they're hiring UGC creators. So although this channel won't be focused on side hustles and making money online, I thought it would be fair of me to come back with an updated version of that video because it's kind of related to the digital marketing content that I'll be posting. And it's a little bit selfish on my part as well, because I think that by putting this video out on the internet, it will make UGC creators optimize their profiles, their portfolios, etc., which will make my work easier as a creative strategist. And I'm also going to link a form in the description as kind of a database for me to find UGC creators when I need them. I also do a lot of consultation calls with business owners who are looking for UGC creators. So if they book a consultation call with, it'd be a nice way for me to kind of help them find UGC creators by sending them the people that fill out the form in the description. So make sure to check that link out if you're looking for some sort of UGC gig. But just a disclaimer, it's not a guarantee. It's just kind of a database so that when a client asks me to go find a UGC creator in a certain demographic, I can kind of look there as my first choice. And then if I don't find anyone on that list, go elsewhere. Yeah, let's just get right into it. So you can get leads through inbound leads or through doing outreach. I always recommend anyone, no matter what your service is, whether a UGC creator, social media manager, whatever you do, I always recommend staying consistent with cold outreach, even if you have clients, because you can lose clients at any time. And it also just helps you build up the skill and the momentum. Cold outreach, connecting with people, and just putting yourself out there is just something I think is really important to keep up. So I always recommend doing cold outreach. And if I were a UGC creator, this is how I would do cold outreach. And I've never seen anyone talk about this before. Maybe it's on, behind paid courses, but I'm gonna give it to you for free today. If I were a UGC creator and I wanted to work for a brand, I would go on Facebook ad library, or because it's free, or if you have the budget, pay for some sort of ad spy and look at the ads that the brand you really want to work for is running to make the ad potentially perform better. And then if again, it's within your budget, I would purchase the product and make an iteration, send them a cold email and say, hey, I noticed that you were running this ad. I think this is how you could optimize it. I'm a UGC creator, blah, blah, blah. Link the ad variation that you made that's watermarked, and you'll really stand out from the rest of people who are essentially just reaching out to brands and saying, hey, please pay me to make content for you. You're saying, hey, I've already done work, I'm providing value. And even if you don't have the time, or if you can't purchase the product, like let's say the product is a water bottle and you don't have the budget to purchase the water bottle, or you don't care to, or whatever the case may be, whatever it is, you could just use like a speaker or hold another water bottle and say, this is what I would do if I had the product and I was working for you. You don't need to actually purchase the product. That's just something I think that would really stand out. But what I will say is a lot of people are reaching out to these brands and they're saying, hey, please pay me. But when you're going to say, hey, I have this skill set, I really understand UGC, I really understand what is required, and I think this is what you can change, and I'm going out of my way to provide value to you before I ask you for something, you'll stand out from the other creators that are reaching out to them. So one, that's how I would do cold outreach. And then as I say, if you don't have the product or you don't have time to record a video, you could also just share bullet points on how you think they could optimize an ad they're running. Let's say link the Facebook ad library ad and say, hey, I saw this running and I thought that you can make these tweaks, blah, 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 blah. And actually, I'm a UGC creator myself and I would love to do this for you. Are you open to it? That kind of thing. I would try at the bare minimum to at least send 10 cold emails a month if it's like a side gig. If it's your full-time gig, if UGC is something you want to do full-time, you honestly need to be doing like 10 a day. So obviously you wouldn't record 10 videos. Maybe if it's a brand you really, really want to work with, you can use that idea that I gave for one of them. But the drop point, short emails, giving them feedback, trying to provide value, you should be doing that a lot, because that's really going to put you out there. And although you might not see someone reach out to you within a week or 2 weeks, I think within 90 days you start to see a return, especially if you send follow-up emails. So definitely give it a try. Don't underestimate the power of cold outreach. Now, you have cold outreach, and then you also have inbound leads. Now, this is where I think I'm really going to help a lot of people out, because I myself, when I work as a creative strategist with these brands, I send inbound opportunities to UGC creators. So the one place that I look, the first place I look all the time is Twitter. Twitter is where the community is. And I think when I first posted my video, a lot of UGC creators didn't really know there was a UGC community on Twitter, but now I think it's much bigger and more people are aware that Twitter is the place to be. But if you're new here, there is a huge UGC community on Twitter. There's also a lot of D2C founders on Twitter and creative strategists like me. If you're not sure on how to use Twitter, because it might be a little bit daunting at first, it's really easy. Honestly, just tweet your thoughts, tweet what you're doing about UGC, follow people in the community, start to interact with them. Interacting on Twitter is really important for growth, but growth doesn't matter. I've never looked at a UGC creator's followers before I reached out to them. I actually just look at their work. I see some people on here on YouTube saying that followers matter, which I understand. Maybe it shows that they can create good content, but I think there's a lot of UGC creators who can create really good content. They're just not focusing on growth of Twitter platform or TikTok platform. They're focusing on the content that they're making for brands. So I would say not to worry at all about followers. That's never something I look at. And also, just a little side tip, you don't really need to use hashtags on Twitter. You can just tweet. It kind of works on, I believe, like SEO algorithms. So if you tweet stuff relating to UGC and you look at that a lot, it will push more UGC content to you, kind of like TikTok, but also your stuff will be pushed out to the same people who are interested in that. So you don't really need to use hashtags. Nobody uses hashtags on Twitter. Just tweet out and follow people, interact. You'll build a community. But what's most important, and here's where the juicy stuff is going to be, is how to optimize your Twitter profile. But actually, before I get into that, I will say there are other places where there's a UGC community where people look for UGC creators. So there's a lot of platforms. I like Ambassadors. I think Incense is one of them. Collabster. There's a few places where you can, on Fiverr, Upwork, you can put your portfolio up on those platforms and people will search them and look for you. It's like a platform where people would go to look. You can use those. I think there's a lot of creators that have success using those platforms, but I'm just sharing from my experience what I know works and what I look for on these platforms. So Twitter is specifically what I use. I always find creators on there first, and then from there, if I really can't find someone, which is rare, I'll go to those other platforms. There's other brands that do use different methods, but this is just my method. So in terms of optimizing your Twitter profile, this is something that I've realized recently. A lot of UGC creators are using AI photos, which I understand maybe you want to have a more professional photo and you don't have that, so you just decide to use an AI software to make a profile photo for you. I don't like that as a creative strategist, especially, for example, if I'm looking for a creator for, let's say, a skincare product. I want to see how you look IRL in real life. Your AI photo, yeah, it's you, but it's not really you, and I want to see you in the flesh. So automatically when I'm scrolling through DMs or I am just looking through profiles, whatever the case is, and I see an AI photo, it's not that I don't look into it further and click on a portfolio, but it doesn't catch my eye as quickly, because usually those people that have AI photos probably also have filtered videos and that stuff, and we want raw, authentic videos with no filters and that sort of thing. So I would say to stay away from the AI photos. It's just a small thing. I actually have never talked about this with other creative strategists, but for me personally, especially when it comes to skincare and makeup and that sort of thing, I'm gonna probably not look at your profile or pick you out of my DMs immediately if I see that you have an AI photo, because it's not you, right? And with that being said, I guess I never really explained how you get inbound leads on Twitter. So on top of your profile photo that's real, that's not AI generated, you want to optimize your profile for search. Normally I'll type in, let's say, UGC creator skincare, and let's say I have an age range that I really need to hit. I'll put 40, and then I'll search that, and then from there I'll find sometimes UGC creators who tweet a video out or their portfolio or tweet about being a skincare UGC creator who's 40 plus. That is how you optimize your Twitter profile. So if you are a UGC creator who really wants to work with, let's say, apps, I don't know, you want to work with apps. You need to tweet about apps all the time. You need to post videos where you're doing UGC for apps, even if it's not paid, post examples of that, and just continue to do that, even if it's not getting likes, because then if I'm looking for a UGC creator for an app, I'm going to type in UGC creator app on Twitter, and I'm going to put latest on the tab, and then I'm going to look for, I'm going to see what's there. And if you are one of the only ones who's tweeted that, chances are I'm going to reach out to you and we are going to collaborate. I'm going to send you over to the brand, and you're going to have an opportunity, and everyone's going to be happy. So to optimize your profile, start to tweet more about who you are, what you do, and share examples. Examples are key. Now, when it comes to examples, I think it's really important to, you want to showcase that you are lively on camera. You don't want your UGC portfolio video or the video that you pin on your profile to be like, hi, my name is Alice and I do UGC. This is what I like to do. Like, you need to really show your personality and vibe on camera, because that is what we're looking for. Because I personally think your energy on camera plays a big role in how the ad converts. I do a lot of, although I don't actually do UGC, I do a lot of script reads, like audio script reads. It's really quick and easy for my clients. And I notice that sometimes I'll record and I'll have like a monotone, but sometimes I'll record when maybe I just had a cup of coffee and I'm more hyped up. I find that those ads definitely perform better, even though it's just audio. And it's so frustrating when you get back UGC videos from a creator and they're talking on camera and it's just dry and boring and dull. And it's like, I know this is not gonna convert well. How do I explain to them that they need to like show up on the camera better? So your on-camera energy is really important. I could go on about this forever. So make sure the videos that you're posting are your best work and show you in your best light. Another thing that's really important, if you don't take anything else from this video, what you need to take is that you must have your email and location in your bio. Email is how we're going to connect with you. Chances are maybe we'll send you a DM, but email is most likely where the collaboration is really going to take off. This is because, especially me, I'm a solopreneur, I'm a freelancer. So I'm kind of a middleman for these brands. I'm making the briefs, I'm sourcing the creators, I'm doing all that sort of stuff. So the founders usually have assistants and other people in the marketing department, video editors, etc., who I need to also connect with, who I'm most likely going to CC into the emails with you to, get them to send you a contract or get you to do other things. So having your email in your bio is really important. Like, that is bare minimum. Have your email in your bio so we can contact you. And also your location. Why is location important? Because some brands who are just starting out maybe only ship to certain locations. So if you are not in the location that we can ship to and I waste my time sending you an email, it's really frustrating. So now it's like, okay, email, portfolio, check. Where are they located? Check. Not located in the place I need to be, move on, that kind of thing, right? Because it's all, I need to save my time. I need to be doing what's efficient for me. So you want to make your profile optimized so that when other creative strategists or founders or whoever is looking at your profile, they can also check off all those boxes and know if it makes sense to reach out to you, and also have the ability to reach out to you because they have your email. Next, you don't want to make your, like, let's say you're emailing back and forth with a creative strategist or a brand owner or whatever. You don't want to make your email or even the text on your portfolio too long. I think although it's nice to hear your, the reason you started UGC and all of the background information, it's not really important. We just want to see you on camera, your UGC. You can share your stats, you can share, best performing ads and stuff like that. But when you have 2 pages of just words about your story starting UGC, chances are the creative strategist, the founder, they're not reading through it. They're just scrolling to see, how do you look on camera? Do you fit the demographic? Do you know how to set up a camera? Do you have equipment? Do you use good lighting? Are you creative with your angles? That sort of thing. So I would say to keep the copy or the text on your portfolio and in your emails as well, just super succinct and short. And also, the reason I actually put this on my notes to say is because most likely the people reaching out to you are reaching out to like hundreds of creators. There's hundreds of emails that they're going through. They don't have time to go back and forth with really long paragraphs. They're just trying to get creators on board and get the content out there. Not that it doesn't matter, it does. And there's a lot of people who, I've gotten on calls with creators and I've done that after we reach a certain point and we build long-term relationships. But if your portfolio and all your emails are just long and there's just a lot of back and forth, it causes a lot of friction. So if everything is just like succinct to the point, here's what we need, let's get on a Loom, let's talk, let's discuss, it's much better, and it creates a better experience for everyone. Another thing is it's really important to include your age on your portfolio. And I think a lot of UGC creators don't understand why we would require this or want this or why it would make you stand out. Sometimes brands who understand how to market correctly with their creatives know that if they're marketing to a specific demographic, the UGC creator that they're getting should fit this demographic, right? If I'm creating content for a skincare product that's for women who are in their 40s and have, I don't know, issues with hyperpigmentation, that very specific niche audience, I can't then go get a 25-year-old UGC creator who has perfect glass skin to create the content. That's not going to convert well. We want to find creators that are in the same age demographic and also appear the same, right? So the age thing allows us to at least put you in that category. And maybe even if you're in that category, like let's say you are in the 40 age group, but you just look super young, we might not work with you, not because you're not a good creator, but just because you don't exactly fit the part that we're looking for. But having your age there does as well make things easier, because sometimes clients will reach out to me and say, I'm really looking for men in their 50s or very specific age group. It makes it easier when everything is just there. And as I said, when I'm doing the Twitter search, I always type in the age, because there's other creative strategists or founders or agency owners who will type out, age 40 UGC creator female, and I'll look through all the replies and comments and steal the creators from there, right? So again, that's why it's important to be interactive on Twitter, because that's how we're finding you. And then last thing about your portfolio, about your Twitter profile, is to include more about you than just, your ability to create content on camera, the basics that I just described. Because a lot of times as a strategist, when I'm coming up with concepts, I'm really trying to think outside of the box and get as creative as possible, and also make you feel as authentic and good on camera as possible. And to do this, it's nice to know a little bit about the creator. For example, I remember there's one time I was doing kind of a day in the life angle ad creative, and I knew, because the creator had tweeted it, that they had dogs that they walked every morning. So I included a shot of them walking their dogs because it kind of related to the day in the life and the product that we were selling. I wouldn't have known this if they didn't include it on their profile and tweet about it. So I didn't even have to go and ask them, because I knew when that information was there. Sometimes when I'm working with creators, I like to ask them like little questions about them. But if you have that on your profile, that's also going to help you stand out. And it also might provide you with other opportunities, because let's say, you tweet about your dogs and you have your dogs in your UGC videos just for fun, or your portfolio just for fun. Someone who's looking for a UGC creator that has a dog might just come across you because of that. So that's just a small example, but anything. It could be where you live. It could be, you have like a really aesthetic apartment with a nice view, and there's a product for a light that looks good when there's a nice view in the dark, something like that. Like adding more about you on your profile and on your portfolio will probably open up more opportunities for you as well. And now that I said this, something that I also do once I reach out to a creator and we kind of establish that we want to work together, another thing that I do is ask them for the equipment that they use and to send pictures of where they usually film, the lighting, their setup. Do they have a tripod? Do they have a ring light? Do they have a mic? You can get a set of all of this stuff for like $50 to $100 on Amazon, which is an investment that you should definitely make. If you do not have these things, we, like brands, strategists, they're going to be able to tell, if you're recording something, you can get away with it for a bit, stacking your phone on a book and hoping for the best, but it's definitely worth making the investment. You probably aren't going to do a UGC collab under $100. So if you just spend $100, get a bunch of the stuff on Amazon, it will make your content way better, which will in turn make you more money. So I would also, instead of including a bunch of text on your portfolio about the reason why you started UGC, bless your heart, you should include pictures of your ring light, your tripod, maybe a BTS photo of you creating content. That is something that I would love to see. I think I've seen it on some profiles, and that really makes you stand out because it gives us a picture of you're serious, you know what you're doing, you have everything set up. You got this as a creator. Now, for those of you who are still watching, this is where I'm gonna share some more juicy stuff, less kind of practical, how to set up your profile, how to get more inbound leads, how to send cold outreach, and more so how you can take your skill set that you have as a UGC creator and make more money with it. So if you choose to subscribe to my channel, which you should, you are going to learn a ton of digital marketing content, which will be helpful for you if you want to expand your career and stack your skills as a creator. This is very important. This is where the money comes in. If you can offer other services on top of creating content, brands will pay you a lot more money. If you understand how to analyze Facebook, TikTok ad data, how to create iterations, how to come up with ideas that will convert, and not just film. If you have both, if you can bring both of those skill sets together, brands will be willing to pay you more because that usually requires multiple people, right? So if you can put those skill sets together and essentially spearhead the creative department for the brand and work with the media buyer, film the content, come up with the ideas, do all the things, and maybe also source other creators because there's only so much you can do if you're doing all of that. And they might start paying you 4 figures per month to look at the data, make iterations, and make X amount of videos per month. Of course, you can get retainers by just creating UGC content, but you can definitely make more money if you're able to do the strategist side of things as well. Another thing that you should definitely consider tweeting out, putting on your portfolio, or reaching out to brands for is script reads. This is something that I do. Now, there are a lot of AI voiceover platforms that brands are using, but some of them aren't the best in knowing when to enunciate a word. And so I work with a brand, I've done like hundreds of voiceover script reads for them, and is really helpful because we've split tested AI versus a real voice, and my real voice definitely performs better. So you could potentially offer doing the ad analysis, making up iterations, writing the scripts, and then doing the voiceover for the scripts, and also instructing video editors that they might have on their team on how to edit their videos, on how to storyboard it, because you're the creative strategist, you have the creative mind. You can tell them, hey, here's the content, here's how I imagine it to be edited, here's the voiceover. That in itself is taking up a lot of different, is putting together a lot of the pieces of the puzzle for the brand, which is going to inevitably make them more money, which means you will inevitably make more money. So stacking your skills is really important. Yeah, you can create content, you're really good at that, and you could continue creating a lot of content. And let's say you create content and you love it, but you kind of want to step back behind the camera sometimes. This is a great thing to kind of add to your outreach and say, hey, this is also something I can do. And I have this skill set because I'm a UGC creator and I've worked with so many brands before, and I understand, okay, this is what works and what doesn't work. As long as the deliverables are clear and set out, it will be a win-win for both you and the brand. So even if you're not a UGC creator and you're just watching this video for vibes, it's important to stack your skills and become really valuable for a brand. And the money is where you add the most value. So anyways, I hope this was really, really helpful. Let me know in the comments if it was. If you have any more questions, I could potentially do another part where I answer those questions. And make sure, if you're a creator looking for gigs, to fill out the form in the description. I'm really rooting for you guys. All the best. Talk soon.